Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's look is supposed to be based on one of the mischievous trick-or-treaters from the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas. So this is supposed to be sort of like my own interpretation. So I read somewhere online that Beryl might have actually gotten his name because he was drowned. So that's basically supposedly how he died. So I wanted to make it look really grungy as if he came out of water and he was drowned and deceased. And also I should mention that this is a collaboration I'm doing with Ava Lamorte and Zach Zenga, who did Lock and Shock. So you guys should definitely go check out their work. But if you want to see what I did, then just keep on watching. I'm first starting off by taking an eyeliner pencil and then sketching out the shirt and then the rib cage. Now you can use a reference picture if you want, or if you can think of one right at the top of your head, then the more power to you, boo. Then I'm taking white Paradise paint and filling in the rib cage. Mixing it with a little bit of gray, I'm then going to create the back of the ribs, making sure to connect them with the imaginary spine because you can't really see it at the moment. However, I did mess up on the placement, so as you can see, I had to change it up a little bit so that both sides looked almost identical. Then I'm taking black eyeshadow and shading the back of the ribs. With whatever is left on the brush, I'm shading the bones to create some dimension by creating a little shadow a centimeter away from the edge of the bone and then blending out with a fluffy brush. I'm also going to shade underneath each of the ribs to add the illusion that they are all sitting like above each other. Now with a small brush and Paradise paint in black, I'm basically filling in all the small negative spaces between the ribs and then switching to a larger brush and then filling in the rest of the shirt. Before, of course, outlining the shirt to avoid any overpainting accidents. Then I'm gonna darken up the shadows just a tiny bit more with black eyeshadow. I went ahead and highlighted the bones using white and a small fine tip brush, and at the same time this gives me a much cleaner and crisp edge. Then with the white, I'm creating the edges of the shirt by drawing a line and then using the brush I used for the black and then dragging it all the way across on top of that line to smooth it down and then create the seam of the shirt. Then creating vertical lines in between the edge of the shirt and the seam. Now, if you've seen a t-shirt, which I'm pretty sure that you have, you probably know what I'm going for here. Then creating some more highlights, but this time I'm wiggling my brush a bit to go with the way the seams are sewn in. Then paint your arms dark gray and add white stripes going down each arm and repeat the exact same highlighting steps as in the shirt. And then taking black eyeshadow and shading in between the lines to add dimension. Now, we're going for a type of yarn, sweater type of fabric, so make sure that the dimension is very noticeable so we can move on to adding each individual strand of yarn. Then I'm shading and highlighting the shirt as I would normally by adding seams and wrinkles to make it look more realistic. Now, I will have a tutorial down below if you guys want a more in-depth tutorial on how to body paint clothes. So moving on to the face, I'm first taking the NYX Angel Veil primer and applying this all over my face to have a smoother base. Now you don't necessarily have to apply this on because obviously this is supposed to be a very grungy look, but I just wanted to use it anyways. Then I'm applying some foundation to have an even base for the rest of the makeup. Now it doesn't really matter what type of foundation you use because after all this is supposed to be a very grungy look and you're going to be covering it with a lot of stuff anyway, so just go with your favorite. Now I'm taking the NYX SFX creams in white, blue, and green, and I'm using these to highlight and contour by applying white to the highlight areas and then green mixed with a little bit of blue on the contour areas and then blending all of that out with a damp beauty blender sponge. If you feel the need to reapply some of the cream foundation, go ahead and do it. Just make sure to blend it out real good afterwards. Don't forget to also cover the ears and the neck. Because these are creams, I am setting it afterwards with a little bit of setting powder to prevent it from smearing or smudging. With the white, I'm messily covering the eyebrows and then running a spoolie through them so that the cream spreads evenly throughout all the hairs. Okay, so I already completed one side of my face and now I'm going to show you how I did the other side. So basically, what I did was that I took the Morphe 35C palette and I'm taking the teal shade and I'm going to use this to heavily contour my face. So the eye sockets, the cheekbones, the jawline, the forehead, it's all getting hit today with some teal snatching to give me more of a dead and sick appearance. Now blend it all out real good with a fluffy blending brush. Then taking Paradise paint in white and watering it down by like a lot, and then blushily applying it to my face, and with my fingers I'm really messing it up to make it look patchy and messy. We're basically trying to go for the effect that Beryl has been wearing, like very cheap Halloween makeup that started to come off as soon as he was drowned and it just smeared everywhere. Also dripping the white down my neck to make it seem as if the makeup is running off and smearing like everywhere. Then applying black to my eyelids, and with my fingers I'm smudging it to make it as grungy as possible, and then dragging it down like tear stains as well. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dot black face paint right at the top of my forehead, very close to the hairline, and then spray water directly in the dot, and then letting the paint drip down my face. And I did this all over until I basically looked like I came out of a river full of dirty black water, and no, I'm not using Glade for this. I promise, this is just water. Then with the black, draw the cheesiest and most basic skull mouth you can actually ever think of. Like, this is first grade easy, and then with your fingers you want to smudge it a little bit as well, so that again it would go with a very grungy effect. Now this whole look is meant to look grungy, so live it up. Also simulated black goo coming out of my mouth and nose. Then I'm shading around the neck and adding white smudging to the shirt as well. And now this is where things are gonna get serious, because we finna scrub. Oh, grr. So I'm using the Luna Pigment from NYX Cosmetics, which has a beautiful blue reflex to it, and I'm going to places where most of the drips are, especially my highlight areas. Now, the effect that I'm trying to go for here is the effect that I'm still wet without actually having to apply any water on my face or any uncomfortable oily substances. But can we just talk about this pigment for a hot minute? I am dying, living in love, oh my god. Applied my lenses, which are from camoeyes.com, I will have the link down below. Then ran the NYX's Jumbo Pencil in black bean to both my waterlines before finishing off with mascara and a little bit of green hair action. So that is it for my take on Beryl from The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I really hope that you all enjoyed this makeup tutorial, and if you did, please make sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you want to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, the links will be down below, as well as the list of products that I used in this video. Also, please do not forget to check out Zach and Ava. Their looks are really amazing, and I would really appreciate it if you guys went to check them out. I will link all their social media down below, so please make sure to go check them out. And so I really hope to see you next time, and bye!